You're listening to Witch Wednesdays, your weekly podcast source for all things witchcraft in the modern world. Join your hosts, Steph and Tara, every Wednesday morning as they dive into a new witchy topic.
Welcome back to Witch Wednesdays. This is Steph.
And this is Tara.
And you're listening to episode 48, Resource Recommendations.
You guys, we've almost made it a full year.
I know, I can't believe it.
I know, I'm so excited. Anyway.
So throughout this year, we have recommended, first of all, we recommended a ton of books. We have two full episodes on books, and we tend to recommend books in almost every episode related to that topic. And on occasion, we have also mentioned different YouTubers to check out. So today we kind of wanted to do online resources. We talked about books and we talked about physical things, but we haven't dedicated an episode to these different online sort of recommendations. So we wanted to go over our YouTube recommendations, our blog and website recommendations, and also Instagram.
Yep.
So we obviously always tell you to do your research. We are not the only authority on, witchy things, witchy topics. There are so many different ways to practice and different paths and things like that. So we always recommend checking out other resources besides us as you continue to grow in your practice. And there are a lot of great online free places to check out. So we wanted to just sort of compile those all in one place, share those all with you in this episode. And then, of course, we will link all of these in the corresponding blog post at witchwednesdays.com. So you can see everything and find all of these places. We will link to them directly for any of these that sound interesting to you.
Yes.
And before we get started, we also, it's not on our list, but we just want to mention really quickly that there are other podcasts. We are not the only podcasters out there. So we actually follow on Instagram a bunch of great witch podcasters. And we are hoping in 2021 to work with them more and have more guests either on here or on Patreon. So we just wanted to mention that there are some great ones that we are friends with. There's Julia at Witchcast. We love her. There's also Mike at Son of a Witch podcast. There are a lot of great options. So we just wanted to mention to definitely check those out. And we follow them on Instagram. So we are, along with this episode, going to link them. And if you want to check out that, they will also mention in the comments where they are, where they can find them, because Julia and Mike listen to this, and so do some of our other, podcast friends. So we're like our little family, our little community. So
it's like a cousin, but we don't get together.
Yeah. So we just wanted to mention that we don't want to deal with the whole list of podcasters because we wouldn't want to forget anybody, but we will have that Instagram post so you can interact if you love this like sort of podcast format. There are lots of other ones out there. So,
and we obviously like it, so we do listen to quite a few.
Yes,
we listen to different ones because we both practice slightly differently.
We would never be able to, name all of those, but hopefully we're hoping that in 2021 we will be able to do some, crossover episodes. And you can meet some other podcasters.
One of the goals in 2021 is to get more than just me and Steph talking at you. We'll have other people talking at you. Exciting!
So let's dive into the list that we do have for you of our resource recommendations. And the first one we're going to start with is YouTube.
They have so many good ones on YouTube, guys. They also have some terrible ones, but they have really good ones as well.
Yes, they do have some really terrible ones, but we're not going to talk about those. We're going to talk about the good ones. I am more of a YouTube person than Tara is.
Oh, so much so. You guys,
so
always send me links to good stuff, and I never think to look there.
I watch YouTube videos all day, every day. That's like my preferred method of consuming content. Tara reads more books and listens to more podcasts. I watch more YouTube videos. I don't know why. It's just what I like.
I also do Instagram a lot anymore. But yeah, I'm not a YouTuber all that much. We have a YouTube channel, and you can tell by the content that Steph really is in charge of it.
So I think all of these YouTube recommendations are from me. But the first one we've mentioned before is Harmony Nice. She is a Wiccan, and she is probably the most popular Wiccan YouTuber, the most well-known. So that is a great place to start if you are interested in the Wiccan religion. And not all of her videos are witchcraft related, but she has really great like Sabbath episodes and spellcasting episodes, like walking you through, you know, tarot and things like that. So she has like dedicated playlists to all of her witchy Wicca content if you're interested in that.
She does have really awesome videos, guys. Like even I'm not a YouTuber, as I mentioned, but like Steph sent me a few of hers, and they're just really fun and easy to watch, but informative, which is kind of what you want, or what I want in my YouTube content.
Exactly. Another one that's really informative and easy to watch is The Witch of Wonderlust.
This one's just fun, guys.
Yeah, she's really great. She has a wide variety of content too, but also, you know, walks you through casting different spells. She actually does more, not, you know, necessarily on camera, but she does more like baneful magic and, you know, knows about those things, but she shares like a wide variety of things. And she has, you know, just sit down and drink a cup of tea or coffee with her while she chats about witchy stuff. So she's a great resource as well. Another one that a lot of people love is Jessie, Jessi Huntenberg. Obviously, we're going to link all of these so you don't have to figure out the spelling. Who is another great witch on YouTube, and she has a wide variety, just like this podcast is, of, you know, a lot of beginner things. She has talking about deities. She also has, you know, witchy planning. You know, we offer that too on our channel of, you know, the witchy plan with me each month. She also has that. And she's very like female empowerment focused.
Which is
So that's what a lot of her content is. It's a lot of, you know, self-care and empowerment rituals and, you know, full moon rituals related to that, and a lot of like working with goddesses like Bridget and everything. So lots of good videos there that walk you through all of that.
Mm-hmm.
The next one that we have to recommend is Scarlet Ravenswood. I enjoy her. I know her. She was from Chicago. She recently moved to Texas. But she is also a pagan. She used to be Wiccan, moved into just sort of like a pagan. I think she works in Norse mythology now, mostly, but she also has her own tarot cards, the Key Tarot, and they're really beautiful. It's just beautiful imagery. So she has a lot of historical information on her YouTube channel. She dives into lots of pagan origins and looking at old holidays and where traditions may have come from. And she has a wide variety, obviously a lot of Norse mythology, but she also does, you know, Scandinavian and a lot of other things that don't have a lot of information out there already. She sort of dives into all of that because she is big on the research, has tons of books and things like that. So she is another really great resource, and obviously very good at tarot and tarot videos. She has her own tarot deck that she put out there. So she is great at all of that.
And she also has a website and an Insta, just because I don't think we'll mention her in the other two, but her Instagram has beautiful imagery on it. And her website has a ton of information, both about how to grow a business from scratch, which is what she's done. You can shop her tarot cards. She has a podcast. She has Amazon favorites. So she has like a mini empire going on or a large empire, depending on. But yeah, she has a lot of information. She has a blog, which has a lot of that history stuff. And yeah, she's more than just a YouTuber. Not that any of these other people are only YouTubers as well, but if you search for her name, you'll find a lot of stuff for her.
Yeah, she's a great resource all around.
Yeah, she really is.
Former Chicagoan, so yeah.
That part I didn't know.
Yep.
Although I will say that she has a blog post near the time we're recording this, which is a little early, so she might have more up. But it's about who is John Barleycorn, and I think that's hilarious because there's a Barleycorn bar in Chicago. So
Yeah, and she has a YouTube video about that too, and it's really a great video and gory.
Yes, it's very gory.
The history of John Barleycorn is gruesome, but yes, it's good. So definitely check her out. She's great.
Yeah. Okay.
The next one on the list is for YouTubers is the White Witch Parlor, and she has a lot of content similar to what we talk about in our like broad overview ones, but she goes into specifics. So we talked about crystals. She will have an episode directly like solely related to smoky quartz. You know, she goes into specifics about each separate one. So she has one about, you know, onyx and one about garnet. So she has lots of great crystal ones. She also has a lot of Sabbath episodes. And, you know, we talked about working with moon phases. She has just the new moon as like a separate video. So if you ever thought of any of our episodes that you want more details than just one specific item that we talked about in an episode, she is a great resource for that, because we tried to do, you know, broad strokes for our these sort of like beginner episodes, just to get you introduced
comfortable
to the idea of working with the moon and moon magic in general. But if you want, okay, how do I exactly work with a new moon in particular, she's a great resource for that.
Yes.
And she's just another one that has like a great voice that's just really easy to listen to,
which is really important, at least to me, guys.
And the next one on the list is the Green Witch. She is great. She is like exactly what you would think of like a vintage sort of green witch to be. Like, she lives in this wooded area. I think she's in Virginia, I want to say. But she has this like huge garden and goes out and like pulls all of these fresh herbs and flowers and things and shows you how to make all different kinds of spell work with them. But she has this whole like apothecary in her house, and like dresses in more like flowy vintage things. So
which is awesome.
It's great. It's like the visuals are just beautiful. She makes beautiful videos. And her name's Annie. She's another one that has this like great voice, and it's very soothing. All of her videos are, you know, just very soothing to listen to, very informative still, but it's a lot of that just like pretty to watch aspect. And the last one that we have to share on our YouTube recommendations is one that we've talked about before, and that is Stargirl, the Practical Witch.
She's so practical, guys.
She is astrology genius. So that's why we have talked about her before. She has spent years and years studying tarot and astrology. So she does a lot of, I think she does them weekly readings. She does pick a card readings. She does readings related to your zodiac signs. So what's coming in like the month or the year or something for your particular zodiac sign, like what you need to know, like what's coming for you in, you know, love or your career, things like that. And then she also does them like broad strokes, like what's coming for the world next month, and, you know, based on what's happening with planetary movements and things like that. So she has spent years and years dedicated to studying and learning this stuff. So she is brilliant. And I think everybody in the comments is always saying how spot on her readings really are. So she's a very interesting one to watch. So I think that's everything that we have on our YouTube list. So we are going to go over to blogs and websites.
Yay!
So we're getting more into the things that
Tara knows things about.
share those things about. So I think the first two that were on that I put on the list are ones that I read sort of regularly. So the first one is The Witch of Lupin Hollow. And she has been around for years. So if you have gotten into witchcraft a while ago, you probably know her or know her site, because she's the one that started sort of like the quizzes, like what kind of witch are you and things like that. She also has a podcast called the Empowered Modern Witches Show. And that's exactly like what her sort of content is. It's all about ritual and self-love, and, you know, she does rituals daily, and all about like, you know, being confident and nurturing yourself and all of those things like that. So she's another one that's like very female empowered and a great resource for that. She's like tons of different resources and blog posts related to those things on her blog, which she has just recently turned into a podcast.
Nice. I didn't know she did that.
Yeah. Another blog / website that I recommend is called Flying the Hedge.
This one I love, guys. This one I can also recommend.
Yeah, this is exactly what it sounds like. We talked about hedge witchcraft and, riding that hedge. So if you're interested in sort of that astral projection and spirit realm travel and work like that, this is the website for that.
It's also just, even if you're not interested in that, it's incredibly interesting to read. She has a lot of really cool information and just prompts on things way to think about the world.
Yeah, and traveling the hedge in general is something that I'm not super familiar with and don't do in my own practice. So just, reading about that and knowing about it, I think is super interesting. Just learning about something that I have no familiarity with or practice in whatsoever is always interesting to me.
Agreed.
What is next on our list here?
Otherworldly Oracle. This is totally a step one, guys.
I don't know how you could possibly tell. But yes, otherworldly oracle.com. But this is another one. They also have a podcast, by the way. So a lot of these, that we talk about, YouTube versus Instagram or things like, I think everybody is just kind of all across the board now doing a lot of podcasts, all of these things. Mm-hmm. So they do have a podcast, but the blog is where, since they've been doing it for so long, is where most of the information is. So they do have a lot of beginner information, but obviously tons of great information on divination and like a lot of folklore and history, which is what oracle cards are based on. There obviously are divination, but there are a lot of different, ways to read oracle cards and, how they came about and like the history of them. So this is a great resource for that. And also a great resource for more like lifestyle content, like how to incorporate witchcraft into your daily life, into your food, into your entertainment, like all of those things, just adding like little ways. So a lot of those lazy witchcraft tips that we talk about, those little things, that's where you would find things like this. They also have a course, like a members only section called the Otherworldly Academy, to teach you about all of these different things. So if you're kind of interested in oracles, divination, and then also spirit realm and things like otherworldly, things like that, mm-hmm. This is the best place for that. And the Otherworldly Academy would be a good place if that's like kind of your chosen path and you want to really dive into that and have, a community that sort of supports that. That's a great place for it.
So there you go. Next up, we have wiccaliving.com. So I have recommended tons of books by Lisa Chamberlain. This is her official website, guys. So it has just a crap ton of information. It does go through like her different books. It is very Wiccan based. So there is that, which hopefully you got from the title. There is a lot of good just witchcraft information, but this is definitely leaning towards Wiccan witchcraft. But it goes through so much information. It goes through different rituals, the wheel of the year, core beliefs, magic, how to get started, beginner questions, frequently asked questions, different paths and traditions you can take. She just has so much stuff. She also has free Wicca audiobooks that you can download and listen to. There are tons, guys. But it's a really great free site, and a lot of the information is just amazing. So if you want to go through and just look at that, it is, again, more Wiccan based than just witchcraft, but there's a lot of good witchcraft information as well. And I know I've recommended her books a ton of times on here in different episodes, as well as in our book recommendation episodes. So, I like her. Next is wiccanow.com. This is actually a blog, but it's more full than just a blog. again, they go into very specific things. So they have a blog post just about witch hazel, guys. They have a blog post just about parsley. They have a blog post about oregano, but it's all about the magical properties of. So it's not like oregano tastes great and you should eat it with this. No, it's all about the magical properties of the different specific things. They have spells, Wiccan supplies. You can look for Wiccan holiday information. It's a really cute website, and I like the amount of detail they give you. They don't completely bury you in the details, but they give you a lot of good specific information on things that we've just touched on to date. But it's very magical. Again, it has Wicca in the title, so you can tell it's definitely Wicca based. But a lot of the magical properties they discussed are not Wiccan. They're just witchcraft. So just keeping that in mind. They have a lot of good detailed information, and they cover so many different things, guys. Like, they have like different sections just dedicated to herbs and crystals, and like, I really like them. But you can tell which ones I added to the list, I'm sure.
The Wiccan ones. All right, moving on to our last category, which is Instagram. Yay! So we just picked a couple because obviously being on Instagram, we follow, a ton of these. And we have a lot of great followers that are also witches and post a lot of great witchy content. So we are going to have a post at the same time as this episode. And if you post witchy content and are looking for followers and more of a community, definitely go to that post and leave your name in the comments and sort of, like what you post about. So it can be like a whole community thread so you can find new witches to follow.
Yes.
But the first one we want to recommend is one of the most popular, and that's Witchy Tips. Mm-hmm. I think most people listening to this, if you are on Instagram, you know Witchy Tips because Witchy Tips is hugely popular. And she posts, her images are text. So you've probably seen them. It's a very distinct style, but she will post text related to, let's say it's llamas. So she posts, her llamas, correspondences. And like we talk about in an episode, she lists them all out on an Instagram photo.
Yep.
So she's like, here are the, spells for llamas and the deities and the crystals and things like that. And she does that for all of the different Sabbats. She does it for the moon phases. She does it for like zodiac signs and things like that. So it's a very informative page and has tons of followers for that reason, because it's lots of great information. Obviously not the details. So it's just, here are the correspondences and here are some, quick rituals that you can do for this holiday or this moon phase or things like that, but not necessarily the why behind it. So I know a lot of beginner witches want to know the why, so that, might not give you enough information, but it's like a great place to start. And if you are a more experienced witch, then, and you don't need like all of the background, then that is just a great resource, because it might just, give you a couple correspondences or daily rituals that you've never, thought of or never practiced. And you're like, oh, that'll be great. I'm going to add this in. And so they're all very timely to what's going on. They're always like based around the different Sabbats or what the moon phase is moving into.
And they're usually quick and easy, guys. They tend not to be like, you need to cleanse yourself for 24 hours before this on this full moon. And then on the next full moon, do this. And they tend to be a lot quicker than that.
Yeah. Like quick 5 ingredient spells of stuff you have in your kitchen. Yeah. Very, very quick and easy stuff, but super, super fun.
Super effective.
Fun little witchy space.
Yeah. It's always
nice. The next one that is also hugely popular on Instagram is the Hood Witch. And she's hilarious.
I was going to say, you guys probably couldn't see, but I literally just started grinning and giggling to myself as soon as she said that. The Hood Witch is funny.
Yeah, the Hood Witch, as you can imagine, is just totally irreverent.
Nothing wrong with that.
She has got great content, lots of things related to the moon. So every time it moves into a new sign, she tells you all about that. But she has lots of great detail in the captions, so telling you everything you need to know. But her whole feed and energy is just give no shits, and I love that.
It's really entertaining, guys. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I really like it.
Yeah, so she's a great one. You probably know the Hood Witch. The next one on the list is Katie at urban.witchery. And this one is all about astrology. So we have the Plan with a Witch videos on our YouTube. And we also put those on Patreon that I do. And I do just quick, like I know when the full moon is and when Sabbats are. And we kind of, I know kind of what the, astrology sign is of that time. But this is like super specific and she updates every week. So it's
a lot of information.
Yeah. When like where the planets are moving, when anything's in retrograde, like what the moon phases are, what astrology sign it is, just like it's super detailed. So she is constantly updating like what the planets are doing and how that sort of affects what's going to happen in that week or month or time period when something's in retrograde like that. So hugely detailed. So if you also like to know all of that information and sort of plan things around the stars and planetary phases, this is like the best Instagram account that you could follow for that, because she's so detailed.
Mm-hmm. So next up is Books for Witches. This is a witch book club, basically, guys. It's really kind of fun to follow. They just post random books that they're reading. It's all about witchcraft. It's not Wiccan based, it's witchcraft. So they have a huge variety of books and they're post fairly often. So it's just as everyone who listens to this with any regularity knows, I love reading. And so it's kind of nice because some of the books they've recommended, I've never heard of, I've never seen, but they're always posting more. So I like to follow them. It's not in-depth information. They're not posting tips and tricks and all this. They literally just post, you should read this book. You should read this book. You should read this book. But I like them a lot because, I want to know what to read. The nature of the witch. It's all one word. The pictures are beautiful. I would just follow them forever for the beautiful, beautiful photos. I've never seen, it's just gorgeous, guys. I can't even articulate how pretty it is. I think ours is pretty well done. Hers are beautiful, like just flat out beautiful. So I recommend, just if you want to see beautiful photos, follow Nature of the Witch. Lady Bookmad is actually an author. Her name is Amanda Lovelace. She writes poems. She's created her own oracle deck. She's a witch, tarot reader, coffee lover, and wife. Everything but the wife resonates with me so hard, guys. She's just awesome. She posts oracle cards that really speak to her, that she's pulled for the day, that affect her day to day. She posts snippets of poems from her different books. She has a ton of books out there, guys, and they're all kind of themed around fairy tales. So like Shine Your Icy Crown is the title of one of her books. I'm trying to find some more of her. She's just got so many different books and she's just super fun to follow. She posts about like, this coffee was great, guys. I had this today and I'm going to drink more tomorrow. Like, she's just really fun to follow, but she does do a lot of witchcraft, oracle readings. Break Your Glass Slippers, another her books, a really popular one. She always has inspirational quotes and she's just super fun to follow. I actually found her randomly when we started this podcast and I started following her on a whim. I've never regretted it. Like, it's just great, guys. She has really funny little quotes like, a dating app, except you use it to befriend local witches and pagans. Who's on it?
I would be on that.
She's like, good morning, witches. It's time to hydrate. She just has like funny, inspirational quotes. I really enjoy following her. She also has a website and stuff, but I love following her on Insta because it's just little bits of happiness, and she updates really often. So, and then something I recently found out on Instagram that probably everyone else knows because I'm old and slow at social media, but you can follow an actual hashtag. Highly recommend following hashtag witchcraft. So many random things pop up. Sometimes it's a spell. Sometimes it's just pretty artwork. Sometimes it's like a quote. Sometimes it's so across the board, but I really enjoy that. It's just anything that's publicly posted with the hashtag witchcraft shows up in your feed. It's just a fun little, that's actually how I found Lady Bookmad. I was following the hashtag and one of her posts popped up and I was like, I like her. And I just started following her. So you never know what's going to pop up. You probably all knew you could follow a hashtag. I did not.
Tara's like the last one to the party.
I'm always the last one to the party when it comes to social media. But I was super pumped and I didn't want to forget to say it. You guys, do it.
I think that is all that we have for you on our list of recommendations for this particular episode.
Yes. And this is
so
not all inclusive, guys. There's so many recommendations that we've made throughout the year that there's too many for one episode. This is already a 40-minute episode.
Yeah, I've been at this for a while. So hopefully something resonates with you. Again, we're going to link everything on our website, witchwednesdays.com. So if you want to find any one of these things in particular, and we will also put that image up on Instagram. So if you have your own Instagram account or, podcast, blog, anything that you would like to link and have other people check out, to put that in the comments so everybody can come find you too.
It's always good to have a community, guys. So that's kind of what we're trying to build with a lot of these posts is we think we're awesome. We hope you do too, but there's so many awesome people out there that you can link to and learn from and help teach even. So
exactly.
Help a witch out.
That is all that we have for you this week, which was a lot. We will see you next week.
Bye. Follow us on Insta.
Thanks for listening to Witch Wednesdays with Steph and Tara. Love our content? Consider donating at anchor.fm/witch-wednesdays to help keep our podcast up and running. Please leave us a voicemail on that same site if you have any questions or comments, and follow us on Instagram at Witch Wednesdays Podcast.